सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्परम्। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्तधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः। ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः। देवाय तस्मै नमः, देवाय तस्मै नमः। Verse number 32. एवं बहुविधा यज्ञाः वितता ब्रह्मणो मुखे कर्मजान् विद्धितान् सर्वान् एवं ज्ञात्वा विमोक्ष्यसे। तद्विद्धि श्रेयान् द्रव्यमयात् यज्ञात् ज्ञानयज्ञः परन्तप। सर्वं कर्माखिलं पार्थ ज्ञाने परिसमाप्यते। तद्विद्धि प्रणिपातेन परिप्रश्नेन सेवया उपदेक्ष्यन्ति ते ज्ञानम्। ज्ञानिनस्तत्त्वदर्शिनः यज्ञात्वा न पुनर्मोहम् Evam yasyasi Pandava Yena bhutanyasheshena Drakshasyaatman yatho mayi. The topic of this chapter being on, this portion being on sacrifice, we have seen so far. Evam bahubita yajnaha vitada brahmano mukhe karmajan vittitan sarvan evam nyatva vimokshase. Understand, various such sacrifices are provided to us by the Vedas, but all of these are karma. Knowing this, you will get released. Meaning, action cannot give you the ultimate moksha. And it says, Shreyan dravamyat yajnat jnana yajna parantava sarvam karmakilam partha jnane parisamapyate. All these things, sacrifices, have got some dravya, some material thing. But jnana yajna is the highest among all of them, because all things said and done, all actions can come to end only when knowledge is there. Therefore, to know that, tadvidhi pranipadena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnanina sattvadarshina. To know that, one should go to a teacher and doing seva, surrendering and asking questions, you will come to know because they will teach you. Now the thing is, what is that you want from a teacher? A teacher is of two kinds. I have told you this, Acharya and Guru. Acharya is one who teaches. Guru, one who guides. A teacher, like any other teacher or a professor in a university also, you will teach. But a teacher, not necessarily a practitioner. It is therefore said, when you can't practice, you become a teacher. When you can't teach, you will consult. No, other way around. When you can't practice, you consult. When you can't consult, you teach. Here, the teacher is one who has academic knowledge, Shrotriya. But to become Brahmanishta, a person practicing that is very rare to find. That's why here says Tattvadarshina. Tattvadarshin. Tattvam pashyati. Drishyati. Drishyati darshayati cha. He who sees and he makes you see also. So such an individual alone can finally give you the ultimate experience of it. Now therefore the student should be one who is eager to gain the final goal of life. Otherwise it will be an intellectual curiosity only. Most of us have got only intellectual curiosity. Oh, Sunday morning what do you do? I go to Chinmaya Mission. What do you do there? We learn Gita from Swamiji. Oh, but I don't see any difference. I'm just learning, that's all. Nothing to do with practice. So intellectual curiosity all of us have. See, what is moksha if it is not understood? It is only intellectual curiosity. Now let me clarify this point here. I was teaching Chinmaya class, where serious Vedanta study is going on. There, this topic has to be very clearly understood. Only that the purpose of study is there. what we ultimately seek is ultimate happiness. Absolute happiness. You cannot just say, I want happiness. थोड़ी देर के लिए दे दूंगा. You little bit if you give, that is not going to be the what you want. Temporary happiness, that anybody can get. The temporary happiness is not what we are seeking. We are seeking ultimate, complete happiness. It is not shoka nivarana, ananda prapti. It is not just a shoka nivarana, it's not just elimination of sorrow, but it is positive experience of ultimate joy. That's why our last name is called Ananda. Otherwise it will become Ishvara Ashoka. Shoka nivarana. It is not just a removal of sorrow, but the positive experience of joy. Let me give an example. Just like a person who is unhealthy, health is happiness. You all agree with that, I hope. Then let us say that I have a back pain. So when I have a back pain, I go to the doctor and he says it will take some time for you to get cured, but I will give you a painkiller. When I take a painkiller, shoka nivaran takes place. The sorrow or the unhappiness, the pain goes away. But that is not the gaining of health. Isn't it? Because gaining of health is not just elimination of pain. No doubt, elimination of pain comforts me, but the problem is potentially there. When the power or the intensity of that painkiller goes away, again it starts. Please understand, therefore, shoka nivarana is not the goal of Vedanta. Ananda prapti. Joy that is unlimited. And the thing is, it is not that which is not there we are going to get. It is already there, but we are not paying attention. Health is already there, and ill health is only a temporary situation. Similarly, moksha is our nature. Brahmanaha swarupaha moksha. The nature of Brahman is moksha, liberation. Ananda, Satchidananda Swarupa. But presently, we are not looking at it, and therefore we got into trouble of getting into a small whirlpool called shoka. Gurudev calls it as non-apprehension of the reality, leading to misapprehension of the plurality. Not seeing what is and seeing something else. So, that being so, the intention of the teaching here, or one who goes to a teacher, should be, what is that ananda? What is that ultimate joy? That I want to know. It is not an intellectual curiosity. It is not a satiating the curiosity of the intellect. That's why he says, that's why it is necessary that one should do pranipada. Nipada, namanam. मन तो है, उसका स्वरूप है अहंकार. मान, मान्यते, मान, opposite of this nama. So long as I have the pride, man, I will not bow down. The very fact that you don't bow down very shows that I do not want to give up myself. So long as one doesn't give up oneself, one's own pet ideas, one's own, prejudices, कुछ कुछ होगा, कुछ कुछ होता है, but ultimate one won't happen. But so long as I hold on to my own thought, I am who or I am, then. So now ultimate happiness is moksha. No, so understand moksha is not something hanging somewhere somebody can give you. Point is one has to discover. The teacher is only guiding. That's why he said Guru is a guide there. Okay, so the nature of moksha is ultimate happiness. Now, taking that as a logical conclusion with which we have arrived at so far, it is not mere shoka nivritti, shoka nivarana. It is not a mere elimination of sorrow. A temporary release from sorrow. It's not that. Now let us look at the logic of this. If that absolute nature, absolute happiness is what you want, it should be something which has nothing else other than itself. It has to be Advayam. If anything else is there, potentially that will condition this. Isn't it? Dvaye bayamasti. Dvaye, in the dual, bayamasti. In other, then there is something other than oneself is there, potentially that is a cause for a problem. Is it not true? And the moment something else is there, then it is not infinite. Finiteness is already there then. What is finite? Conditioned, limited. Why limited? Because there is something else other than this. If there is one, without a second, that is ultimate, that is Advayam, that is infinite, and that alone is Bhuma eva Sukham. Chandogya Upanishad says, Bhuma eva Sukham, that alone can be. If anything else is there, it limits it. Finite, limited. Anything limited is potentially subject to martyam, subject to death, subject to destruction by the other. No, Swamiji. Both there is something called Brahman and there is something else which is there called the world or anything else, Prakriti. Both of them are infinite. Why not be like that? That's Sankhyan philosophy. Two are there, Prakriti and Purusha. Matter and spirit. Both are there, eternally. Who created it? Next question is, who created it? No, they have been there. They have been there all right. They have been there all right. In that case, the ultimate question is, which came out of what? Or what is the relationship? If there is a need for a relationship, there must be a common factor. Then only there can be a relationship. What is the common factor in them? There must be something. If there is a common factor, there must be common which have created both. I am not going to the logical steps on that, because we can go step by step and find to that point. There must be a common factor which would have probably created both. If there is no common factor, they cannot combine. They cannot come together. If they don't come together, they are opposed to each other. When they are opposed to each other, then there cannot be ultimate joy. Now we say there is a common factor. God, what is it? God. Let us worry about that now. Let us worry about these two. Or this X created that. The Prakriti created Purusha. How can it be? Matter cannot create spirit. Jada cannot create Chaitanya. An inert thing cannot create a consciousness. Or the other way around. What? Consciousness creates Jada. Cannot. Chaitanya can never become a Jada. A conscious living being, a life, cannot become an inert thing because it's just the opposite character. Only possibility is that Chaitanya appears to be Jada. That's possible. Appears to be. Like you, when you go to sleep, are you Jada or Chaitanya? As far as the world is concerned, you are Jada. Your wife considers even when you are alive also, you are Jada only. Not listening to anybody. Jada Swarupa. So, Chaitanya Atma can potentially appear to be in a nothing. So, therefore, this world is understandably that which is seen as a matter is only an appearance of the one without a second as the variety. This appearance is what is referred as Maya. This illusory appearance of that supreme reality, Brahman, one without a second, as the plurality which we come to see is, that power is what is referred as Maya, that which is illusory presence, the illusion. Just like a magician shows something, even though it is not there, but you see it. Maya viva vichrumpayatya vimaha yogi vayasvechaya. Saichaya, by its own will. That is why Bhagavan Krishna says in 18th chapter, Natadasti pradivyam va divi deveshu va punaha sattvam prakriti jair muktam yatebi syatribir gunaihi. There is nothing in this world that exists which is devoid of, free from the three qualities of Maya. Therefore, the student who is now eager to gain the ultimate happiness must know the illusory nature of the world which he has been living with, considering that as true, must gain the ability to see it as a false and abide in the highest. Thereby he can gain that moksha. To that extent, to that reason, he goes and asks the question, how? Pariprashnena. So the prashna should be, the question should be, how do I come out of the illusory world which I have got caught into? Give me the strength to overcome this. So intellectually we may understand, but we do not have the strength to overcome that. Many of us know, but that if at that time when we want to really come out of it, we do not have the drive to come out of it. You want to work out every day, but you don't get up from the bed. What do you do? I want to drive. I have a drive to do that. Even I have a car to go for driving. But who will drive you from the bed to the car? Huh? Gurudev used to say that whenever the idea that I must do workout comes to my mind, I just wait for that thought to go away. I just patiently wait. That thought is gone. Now let me have a coffee. So even though I know what is that I need to do, I have intellectually understood this. But what will drive me to do that? So the seva part is to derive inspiration. Pranipada is to submit. That I need to realize this, and I need to overcome these prejudices and ego and arrogance and all those things. Prashna is to know how to go about. Seva is to derive that inspiration. That's why he said, at the body level it is seva, pranipada. Mind level it is, that is, doing the seva helps you in submitting yourself. So, or you can say mind level, it is, body level it's a seva, and pranipada, surrendering is in the mind, and prashna is the intellect, questioning. What we do? First question it. First directly go to the intellect. पहले मालूम होना चाहिए कि आप गुरु है कि नहीं. I want to know first of all, आप गुरु है कि नहीं. आपका दाढ़ी भी बड़ी नहीं. Your beard is also not very long, which I expected a guru must have. Pariprashne, so seva, pranipada, that's what it is. come to know. Upadekshanti, they will give you. Because the teachers are also eager to find a student who really wants it. And what is the teaching? Yajñātvā na punarmoham evam yasyasi pandava yena bhūtānyasheshena pashyan atmanyatāmayi. That knowledge, having known which, yajñātvā na punaha moham yasyasi. The knowledge is that which removes delusion. Because Arjuna, as we saw in the last session also, was very unclear. Oh, my people have to kill. Oh, these people are my own cousins and my own aunts and my uncles. My own, all these people are standing there. How do I kill them? And confusion about what? Dharma sammuda chetaha aham. I don't know what is exactly my role here. What should I do? Moh. So here Arjuna is in a state of delusion, which is what brought him to Krishna. So what is Bhagavan has to do is to remove that delusion. And since it is a psychological confusion there, any other method is not possible. You have to make you think correctly. How can I remove your confusion by I thinking about it? If you are hungry, if I eat and you sit in front of me, I will keep eating. Will you get appeased to your uncle? Your hunger can be appeased, only you eat. Similarly, confusion in the mind of Arjuna, expressing it as a delusion in thinking. Not unable to think correctly. Priority is not clear. So, evam moham na yasyasi. You will not come to this kind of a delusion, yat jnātvā, having gained which knowledge. So, that knowledge is what they are going to talk about. And what is that? Tad viddhi, meaning come to understand that. So, by saying that, which I have explained to you earlier, that spatially or temporally far away from you. Either based upon time or space, it is far off from you. That's what you call it as that. That day I came, when you say that day is not today, that place where I am going, therefore spatially you are not there where you are referring to. So when he says tadviti, come to know that, which means presently in your mind, that which you want to achieve is far away from you. And in this next verse, what he says is, that which is now you considering to be different and far away from you, you will realize that as yourself. Yena bhūtānyasheshena drakshasi, you will see. Atmani, in yourself. Atho mayi, or in me. What do you see? What do you see then? That which you will see, what you will see? In, what is it? Sarva bhūtāni, all living beings, you will see in you. Meaning what? You will become that ultimate in which there is no other. Everything is included in you. You see yourself as the ultimate truth in which everything is included. Just like as I said in the last session, when you wake up from the dream and with a little pause, before you get into the world of waking, just ask this question, where was the dream? Where are all the people whom I saw in the dream? Where is all the thing that I experienced in the dream? In me, merged in me. Isn't it? All these tragedies and comedies that you have experienced in the sleep, all the people whom you saw in the dream, everything is included there. Now, this is considered to be the phala, prayojana. Ultimate prayojanam of this whole experience is that you will see everything in me or in you. Meaning, between you and me, there will not be any difference then after. Jnani to atma me mata. Sri Krishna says, such a jnani is me myself. And between him and me, there will not be any difference. Which God would say, ultimately, there will not be any difference between you and me. Think of it. Anybody would say, I am God, you are all under me, and I will give you that all the grace and whatever you want. But you cannot become me. But here he says, you will become me, I will become you. Why? Because this knowledge makes you both, we both come together. There will not be any difference between you and me thereafter. So knowledge is that jnanat evad kaivalyam. That knowledge alone can bring that oneness where there would not be any difference at all thereafter. Therefore, it is said in the Upanishad also very clearly, Naisha tarkena matirapaneya. This cannot be gained out of pure logic. It's not a logical conclusion. Though logic is used because we are at that kind of a mental frame. We want logic for everything. Blindly we don't want to follow anything. So logic is used to convince. But logic is not a conclusion. So the logic helps you to think in that direction. But once you realize the limitation of logic, you merge into that fact. Now I will tell you the limitation of logic. Fact is, logic is used to explain things. But a fact of a thing is not a logical conclusion. Why sun is hot? You tell me. Why sun is hot? What is your logical conclusion about sun? Tell me. Why sun is hot? You tell me. Tell me. Huh? Nuclear process. Okay. So carbon, whatever, as much as I know limitation, there is a burning of carbon, whatever is happening there. That's what I know. Is that correct? Maybe a little wrong. Maybe right. Fusion of? Hydrogen, what happened to that? Okay, whatever happened. Why? Tell me why. It's a fact. It's a fact is what? That it is some mutation, right? You say? Fusion. Some confusion is happening. So some fusion is happening. Some fusion. But why? Why should it happen? Now when it comes to why, you have no, what reason? It is. So science states the facts, not why. What, how, when, where, yes. Why? Kyun? So though you do not see, you can go to, logic is used to explain things, but why? Ultimately when you ask that question, why, you say, what it is. I say, now, I am not saying it is wrong or anything, I am not, but showing the limitation of it. It can show only up to that point because the scope of logic is to explain things which are already there. Why they are there, that you do not know. So, blind faith is not even going by the logic. Don't ask that question. Blasphemy. The point is, the student should be guided because he is coming from an intellectual curiosity. Okay, you guide him, this. Finally you understand that point where it is so. So, you have already appeased his logical mind. Don't stop it there. You appease him, that's called faith. You keep going with him, keep going, until he himself finds out there is no answer for it. Don't cut off him in the middle, in the beginning, don't ask that questions. It's written down there. Why? Just because it's written down, I should believe? So, understand, at some point of time, you will realize that it is. So that knowing, and see now ultimately the taste of the pudding in is in eating. Right? Taste of payasam is in white pudding, taste of payasam is in eating. You will know whether this kheer is good or not. In my theory, taste of the food is in digesting. Not even in eating, it is in digesting. Tomorrow is the problem. Today it may be tasting good, tomorrow is the situation now. Now, what is the underlying point? Having reached which you are devoid of confusion and freedom, then what you have walked through is right. Yajñātvāna punarmoham evam yasaji pandava. And how the moha will go, how the delusion will go. Delusion comes only because there are differences. This or this or this or this. When there is different things and choices and other things are there, then there is a delusion. He says, all that you are confused about is, you will find everything is in you. Sarva bhutani asheshena pashyasi drikshyasi atmani. You will see it in yourself. Then within yourself means then where is the question of confusion about it any further? Only when there is an external factor, then you say this or that. When everything is you, where's the question of confusion? You stand in front of a mirror, a good mirror, and stand, is this me? Is there a question? Is there a question? Because the mirror cannot be anything else. Mirror is just reflecting you. So when you see in the mirror, is this me? When we went to Kailash last year, in 2004 also I went. When you travel, it's various, it's a bit cold and then hot and this and that and all those things. At that time, this time I didn't do that. Last time I decided not to look at myself in the mirror for the next 15 days. Okay? Not to look at. Fine, then close my eyes, put the chandan there. You put chandan, you don't need a mirror. But put makeup, you need a mirror. So I decided not to see. At the end of 10 or 15 days, when we came back to the hotel, is this me? Because patch of black hair is there, and then some part of the skin is coming out from here, there. My God! 1 week you don't look at yourself in the mirror. Just try this. Of course, you need to be somewhere else because you come in front of us, there will be a problem. So, don't. Let us say you're going for a vacation for 10 days, whatever. Don't look at the mirror. After 10 days, you look at it. Is this me? When you look at yourself in the mirror, you have any doubt? Is that you or not? Because it is me. Similarly, a person who has thus realized the entire creation is in oneself, when he meets others, what will he see? What will he see? Himself in all. When you see yourself in all, tatra ko moha kashokaha ekatvam anupashyataha. Upanishad says, when a person has discovered the oneness, where is a question of shoka and moha? Where is a question of sorrow or joy or hatred or anything? It cannot be, because you yourself is everything. And when you yourself you see everything, is there a fear? Is there a likes? Is there a dislike? Is there a hatred? Is there anything of that kind? And that is liberation. When you do not see anything other than yourself, whom are you bound by what? So ultimately, that knowledge is that which will release you, where you don't see any other. Yourself in all in you, you in all. Yasmin sarvani bhutani Atmaivabhut vichanatah tatra ko moha kashokah ekatvam anupashyatah. Where a person has seen oneself has become the whole world of the universe, meaning one has become identified with that one which himself is appearing as all, and where is a question of any more delusion or fear or any other thing? Then such a person lives in only love, only joyful love, where there is nothing to hate. One's own extension is everything. Every being is none other than one's own expression. It is hard to understand this theoretically in our mind right now. I understand that. Because it is appears to be hypothetical or it appears to be abstract. But it is true. It is a fact. And that is what is demonstrated by all Mahatmas. No more caste, color, religion, race. None of those barriers will ever affect them. Good, the man or a woman or a child or a boy or a girl or the human or non-human, living or non-living, everything is seen as beautiful manifestation of that one. That is where the ultimate happiness is, where there is no other. This is towards which Krishna is driving him, guiding him, so to say. Tadvitti pranipadena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninatasvadarshinaha yajñatvana punarmoham evam jnasyasi pandava ena bhutanya sheshena drakshasi atmanyato mayi. Arjuna says, see, these are all good, but you don't know me. I am the ultimate sinner available in this world. Mahapapi. I am the most wanted criminal in this world. If one may say, one may not say if you think yourself to be one. How can I, who have been living in such a criminal mind, who have been doing all sort of atrocities in this world, can ever have a salvation? So salvation for the ultimate sinner is also possible. Now you see in the next verse he says, Api chetasi papebhyah sarvebhyah papakrittamah sarvam jnana plavenaiva vrajinam santarishyasi api chetasi papebhyah sarvebhyah papakrittamah sarvam jnana plavenaiva vrajinam santarishyasi. Apichet, even if. Sarvebhyah papakrittamaha pabebhyah. Even if you are sarvebhyah, of all people, papakrittamaha, ultimate sinner, worse than Bin Laden, worse than any ultimate sinner killer you could think of it. Worse than Hitler. Worse than anybody in the past history who was considered by the world as a great criminal. Killed people en masse. Millions. Apichet asi, you are. Papakrittamah sarvepya pavepya, among all people. Papakrit, a one who is a doer. Papam karodi the papakrit. He who the killer or the sinner. Papakrit tharaha, comparative degree. Papakrit tamaha, ultimate. Uttara uttama. Shreshtatamaha, shreshtataraha, shreshtaha. So Shreshtaha is good. Shreshtatara, better. Shreshtatham, best. So among all the sinners, you are the ultimate sinner. If you are that, sarvam, all that you have done, jnana plavena eva, with that boat of knowledge alone, vrajinam, this, all that sin that you have created, santarishyasi, you will cross over. Gurudev has very clearly said what is sin. Self-insulting things are called sin. You are going against yourself, in other words. What do you want? You want to live, right? If you go against your own life, everybody wants what? Live. And you go against their life? Going against what is, and you go against that. That is called sin. So you are the ultimate sinner. You have killed as many people as you want, just for the fun sake also. Even if you are, you will be able to overcome that ultimate sin also by knowledge. This doesn't mean, अच्छा ठीक, अभी तो मैं इतना काम करूँगा, I will kill so many and then come to Guru. I have done all that I have to kill. Now, give me knowledge. It is not a license to kill, license to sin. Don't take it that way. Later on also Krishna will say, if a person is ready to change his ways, even if he is an ultimate sinner, should be considered as a sadhureva samantavyaha samyak vyavasito hi saha. Once he had decided to change, at that very moment, he is on the path to become a saint. There was a person living in the forest during Buddha's time. He was criminal, dacoit. And he not only looted people, to find out how much he looted, everybody he looted, he cut their finger. One finger. And then he put it in his mala, so that he will know how many people I have looted so far. He didn't have any iPad or any calculator or anything, so that is the only thing he had. So 45 so far. Once Buddha was walking by in the same area, he caught out of it. Chalo, nikal do sab. And Bhagavan Buddha had absolutely nothing in his hand. He said, what do you want? He said, all that you have, give me. He said, if I have to give you anything, are you ready to take it? What are you talking? He says, all that I have is path to enlightenment. And that is not a wealth of this kind. No, you're talking too much. I'll cut off your finger. You take the whole body. I don't care. He never had a person like this in his life, where a person says, take my whole body, I don't care. Who will say that? He says, what do you mean? He said, I have only one wealth of knowledge. I can give you. If you do not want it, I cannot help it. Number one. Number two, you want to punish me or kill me? Don't take one finger. You take the whole body. So that person, his name was Angulimala. Angulimalin. He who had, Anguli means the finger as his mala. Angulimala. He looked at him and said, I never had in my life anybody who talks like this. And without having anything in your possession, how can you be so happy, so content, so peaceful? He said, that is exactly the reason why I am peaceful. He said, without the wealth, how can you be peaceful? Without the wealth alone, I am peaceful. What makes you happy? He says, that which makes me happy is that which you want, which you need. So, by the power of Buddha, or because of the very, very peaceful, strong presence, Immediately he went down and then saluted. Give me that. And he renounced that mala at that very moment itself. Teach me that. So he initiated him to the highest knowledge at that point. So when he was initiated to the correct knowledge, correct way of thinking, he stayed with him for some time to gain the correct way to enlightenment. One day Buddha told him, now you go back. Now you go back to the place, to the village where you hail from. No, I don't want to go back. Why? Because I have destroyed many of the families. True. So you should go back. You should go back. But they once said, because now he is saved and then he has changed his clothes and all those things. So he said, they may not recognize me in the beginning, but they will ultimately know me. Yes, I understand. Go. And he went. First they did not realize. Then they realized who it was. This is the son of Anguliwala. He is coming in the form of a Buddhist monk. Kill him. So ultimately, he was given so much of strong punishment. They beat him and hit him. At that time, he remembered the teachings. The physical body is not me. Aham Buddha. My nature is enlightenment. So he smilingly remembered all these things and he ultimately died. But with no regrets, no fighting back. He gained the Buddhahood, it is said. Now therefore, you see, even the most wanted criminal, once he decided to change, this knowledge reaches him to the end of sin. Not punishment. Punishment is not an answer to the sin. Regret is the answer to the sin. And then only you will change. No, I will do whatever I want. You challenge me. Is the student has to challenge the teacher? I will keep doing whatever I do. You try. You go to that physical trainer, the what do you call that? In workout gym. I will do nothing of what you say. Try to make me lean. Let us see. Whom are you challenging and for what? If you don't want to do anything, how can anybody can do? Then I have to cut you into pieces. That's all I can do. Liposuction, tummy tuck. Liposuction. Remove part by part everywhere. And if you continue to eat the same thing, then again it will start. So, this sin, an individual who has thus recognized first of all, this is wrong that I did, and feel regretful about that, and ready to change the ways, there the Guru can definitely guide them. And the knowledge the Guru can guide you to correct, but to abide, to sustain, to go on. What supports you is the knowledge. See, you also have, your children are there, and you have been giving them samskars, not just a car. Samskar also you are giving. So ultimately, when they reach 12th grade, 11th grade, don't just give them car, but give them samskar, not some other car. So you give correct way of thinking, which is what we try to do here. But 1 hour a week will not suffice. And that every week they don't come. So what's another problem? So 1 hour a day, how much we can change the way of thinking? It has to be supported. So once they have the correct way of thinking, even when they are by themselves, when there are nobody elders around them, when they are all by themselves in the universities, what will support them? What will sustain them? Their way of thinking, the priorities they have. Isn't it? Similarly, the Guru cannot be there all the time, 24 hours to tell you what you should do, don't do this, don't do this, do this. Ultimately, what will keep you going is Sarvam Jnana Plavenaiva. Jnana plava, the boat of knowledge. Now the simile is so interesting. In water, what will float? What will float? Boat. What is boat made of? Wood. Or any other substance, any other material thing, which can remain afloat on water. Correct? It's like wood. Why wood doesn't sink in the water? Why wood doesn't sink in the water? Because there is no water element in that wood. So, therefore, the simile is important here because in that jnanam, there is not laukikam. If the laukikatva is there, you will sink. What do you mean by laukikatva here? Importance given to the worldly gains. This is the problem with most people who gain the knowledge, but they do not let go of the laukikatva, meaning they do not let go of the worldly gains out of that. मैं तो गुरु हूं, मुझे बहु शिष्य चाहिए. Finished. इतना बड़ा आश्रम बनाना है, इतना लोग आना है, इतना कमीना है, इतना कमीना उसको कमीनो कमाना है, कमीना is something else. Kamana hai. Whenever I see the El Camino Real, that's what comes to my mind. Camine. I don't know what it means anyway, it doesn't matter. So if you have that idea of worldliness, worldly gain comes to your mind, then your knowledge will just sink you. Knowledge can make you afloat in this world, provided you have no worldliness there in that knowledge. Then, yes, you can cross over. But not just afloat, you have to move. You have to keep moving towards the direction where you want to go. So Krishna says here, this knowledge can first of all remove the worldliness from your head. Parishya logan karmachitan brahmanaha nirvedamaya nasti akridatradena. He comes, this is beautifully said in Upanishad, that a person who has realized that in this world, anything that is done, anything that is created, must have only limited result only. I want an unlimited one that cannot be a product of an action. That understanding has been very firm. Therefore, even though he lives in the world, but he is not of the world. In the world, not of the world. Gurudev used to say, be in the world, but not of the world. Just like when you are, when you take the yogurt or curd out of this milk and then becomes butter, the butter floats. Why? Dehydrated. In the same way, knowledge must be that which without worldliness. Then that knowledge will take you across. Om sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayaha, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkhamat bhavet. Om shanti shanti shanti, harihi om, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.